What's up? So, I went on Twitter this morning and I saw that Frenemies was trending. And I guess Trisha decided she's leaving. Yeah, so she announced she's leaving. We're just gonna look into why. I'm honestly gutted over this whole thing. Trisha's video this morning was a total surprise to me. I don't really know what more I can say or do. I'm sorry to all the fans of Frenemies. I don't know how much it meant to everyone. I did everything I humanly could to save it. And then I saw Emily Baker comment too. Yeah, she commented, I get off coffee and cursey words to see that Trisha Paytas is trending. What's that? Coffee and cursey? I guess it's like a podcast or something. I don't know. I hope they work things out because Frenemies is really fun content, but well-being always comes first. Okay. So I started watching this episode, but
according to the BuzzFeed article, she also has a public.
They said it's like the last 15 to 20 minutes. Was it
contact?
Also, it seems like to be about money or something.
Contacting everybody you know.
I don't know what's happening with Gabby Hanna. It's a story I kind of want to look into. I'll do a segment on that later. But for right now, Frenemies. So, oh shit. 39. So around here.
No, they're just not Triller. Triller's awful. Like compared to, because Triller put on the Jake Paul fight. Those are the guys that are suing me.
Oh, is that still happening or no? It's done.
Oh, they're still suing me. Yeah.
Oscars and I don't know.
Is there a third pizza?
You're so not good about this. Okay, let's go to your stupid.
Make sure that
I don't like this segment. Just for the record, fan advice is a stupid segment.
Why?
We can do it. It's so dumb. What's the point?
To give advice to our fans.
But that's not the like. Oh, no, that's like when people run out of ideas and they start doing Q&As. Like,
okay, well, what you want to talk more about the what, Brokeback Mountain, a movie from fucking like 10 years ago?
It's like a lazy podcast. Like we're gonna play games on that. Like you know,
a lazy podcast. You don't do anything for it. You just show up. We do all the work.
Oh my god, yeah, right. Keemstar, Jake Paul, like, and everyone's like, we're so sick of hearing about this because it's everything. Like I saw on this, you had stuff from last H3. You just recycle H3 content on Frenemies. You're like, oh, we're gonna do Trisha through the history meme or whatever, and you already did that on the last episode, and I saw it on here.
I didn't bring it up. I didn't say it.
But the fact that it's already on there, like I had to bring up all these other topics because I'm like, I don't want to go to that because you brought it up last week.
Let's see. We put together this Gabby Hanna segment.
I think it's true that he does kind of like recycle the content, but oof, it's getting heated.
Brutal.
I just don't like when we spend like, well, whatever.
Go ahead, say it. There's a good creep.
But you're asking like, we do all the work. It's like we spent one Frenemies rehashing all the stuff you said about Keemstar and H3 Live, which was 2 days prior.
Okay, it happened one time.
No, it's happened before where you just like bring up stuff that you've already mentioned, like, and it's fine. But
why are you attacking me?
You asked me, you said tell me, and I'm telling you, like just because you guys come up with everything doesn't mean it's good. It's recycled, a lot of it. So it's like I can come up with new ideas. A lot of it.
No.
For being honest,
well, we were going to talk about Hila being pregnant, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
But the title has to be pregnancy announcement.
I don't see why that's a problem.
Because you did that on Friday. You're just recycling titles.
Kind of has a point there.
It's not an announcement. You weren't announcing it.
We bought a studio downtown. That was always the plan, by the way, that we were going to move downtown. And then all of a sudden, I was like, yo. And I was like, yo, we're moving. I told you ahead of time, but it's fine because
you didn't tell me downtown LA.
We're still at my house now. But I said, okay. So I was like, yo, by the way, we moved into our new office. We're going to be there next week. It's good. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to go down there. And we had made all these plans to move the set and everything and to do everything. So you're like, I don't want to go down there. And then we talked about it for a little bit. And I said, okay, fine. And so we had to buy.
But that was the first time we ever spent money on production costs.
It's not about that, dude. It's literally about we are producing the show and I'm taking a cut. I feel like that's beyond reasonable.
So they're just fighting about money, it seems like. Yeah, a lot of people pointing that out too.
Because you're saying, why should I get an input on the employees? That's what you said. And
because
you brought up to me
they don't just work on Frenemies, they're my employees.
Okay, but when I said that to you originally, you said, oh, we pay the employees. They could be working on other things. So why don't we have Frenemies employees and I get input if we're spending 5% of the budget towards them?
I think that's not what it is.
That's what you said.
So then that.
I don't know much about like business. Like if they're Ethan's employees, then I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how you. I just don't see what you just did. That's really.
What did I do?
We have to end it now. Like really.
What did I do?
We got to stop for real. Really.
Okay.
Stop.
But that got uncomfortable.
Hey guys, it's really early in the morning on Tuesday. I just want to make this video because I had just a lot of anxiety yesterday and a lot of anxiety this morning. And I like slept on it, and even before sleeping on it, like I had this feeling in my heart that I need to step away from Frenemies, and it's really, really with a heavy heart that I say that. Because it is kind of like it's been my stability, my regular thing once a week that I like absolutely look forward to. And I really love doing the show. And then last night, of course, I talked to Ethan, and, he was saying the crew is really upset with me.
Okay. Well, I don't feel like watching this whole video. It just boils down to money for them, so I mean, whatever. Trisha makes a lot of money from like OnlyFans, and pretty sure from her channel too. And then she launched her skincare thing. I don't know. I can see them ending it because like Trisha's doing her own thing. Also, maybe it's something like we're not seeing on camera. I don't know. That's that. That's the end of Frenemies. Somewhere David Dobrik and James Charles are jumping with joy. Let's see. I do want to check out that H3 Crowder beef. There's not really much to say about this, about Frenemies. Only time will tell if they come back or not. Your move, Ethan. I just want to say I do not like Steven Crowder at all. It's a fucking ass, dude. Yeah, Dan actually said it best from the H3 podcast. He's basically the modern day what was his name? Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nail on the head with that one.
They would have received a claim, but because they were
also, this guy's a fucking idiot. He's also a creep. What he said in that Billie Eilish episode. Ugh.
All right. Okay. So I don't usually like doing this, but and things have changed because this Ethan Klein character H3, I guess, brought on a lawyer, which which we're not a pro YouTube corporate, which we're not going to get into because look, I'm not going to do anything legal in the court of public opinion. Let's let that happen in the courts. But there's this program, and people have been asking us to address it. And you may not be familiar with it. H3H3. The guy's name is Ethan.
He's trying to act like he doesn't know Ethan, but come on, dude. It's fucking H3H3. He's one of the biggest names on YouTube. Come on.
About being so, again, look, and I still think it's funny. I've never seen anybody so smug about being so ignorant. Now, let me be clear. Of course, we had some fun, but was criticizing the idea. I do think it's a bad thing to tell people out there, young, impressionable people, because, especially when you have an audience who's like 9 years old, when you've had to adapt your content to be YouTube friendly, to tell them not to think critically. Now, to be clear, we usually go after political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians, scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every...
What do you mean it's not a fucking debate? Oh my god. Ugh.
Now and then, a layup crosses our path, who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of. H3H3, right? That's the only thing you can do is do the YouTube drama. So apparently...
What's he talking about? What?
But why is he questioning any, like, the CDC?
Yeah, I gotta admit, Ethan does not look good in this clip. So yeah.
Fauci, yeah, seriously, bro. You're not a doctor. I don't want to think about things.
Bro, do you fucking question, like,
dead on
let's say
God, he's so dumb.
It's like
so dumb, dude.
Do you go to the doctor and then bro, I literally can't. Do you go to the pharmacy and overlook you be like, oh, is that the right medicine?
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
one time I had to give me the wrong medication, I had my doctor make sure they got the right one. Yes.
Jesus, I fucking hate it when he talks over the clip. Bro, just let him talk. Come on, just let the clip roll. You don't have to give commentary. Your commentary is shit anyway, so whatever.
Don't need
do I read labels of pills I take?
And you don't understand how disease prevention works, then you should be listening to Dr. Fauci and the CDC.
Okay, good.
Ethan's downfall is like his stuttering right there. He's trying to make a point, but as shitty as Crowder is, he has like some debate knowledge, or obviously he does. He knows how to like pivot and attack your weaknesses. Ethan trying to come up with a good like analogy for it is just, it wasn't working in his favor. I mean, I have the problem too. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, it takes me a while to get out of point, but with someone as fast as Crowder, you you end up looking like not the best. So
I understand what you're saying there. And of course, you need to trust, you need to aggregate and verify. I never claimed to be a doctor. That's why we have them on our show. That's why we provide the sources that we do. However, yes, I do read labels of pills that I take. And for example, talking about like supplements, yeah, I make sure it's GMP certified, or I make sure that it's NSF certified, especially when I used to compete, because you have to make sure that this thing isn't tainted. Not saying that doesn't make me a supplement manufacturer. It makes me cautiously skeptical. And by the way, this is what matters. The CDC? He just said Fauci and the CDC. I mean,
the CDC. Shut up, bro.
The fact that, look, Ethan, the fact that you're not aware, I guess, of the Fauci emails, and the fact that he was telling the people one thing while believing another behind the...
Dude, the Fauci fucking emails, bro. Shut up, dude.
Scenes, and this has been released. This should tell you that trusting one person blindly is a problem. Let's just go through some examples of where we criticize, and I know that you're pro YouTube banning and deplatforming. We'll get to that in a second, because one of our warnings was we accurately cited the CDC data, but they didn't like that we did. Let's go to the CDC. Okay, let's go to example one. You have CDC, you have World Health Organization. In January, the World Health Organization said there was no evidence of human-to-human transmission. That was echoed by the CDC.
Preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the novel. Symptoms may account for approximately 24% of all transmission in the base of 59% of all transmission. Look, I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know. I fucking suck at science and math. But, like, it was a new virus. We didn't know shit about it. They learned more over the months during the beginning of the pandemic, so.
Okay, January 2021, the CDC published a journal in JAMA claiming that nearly 60% of COVID cases came from asymptomatic carriers. Then in April...
In conclusion, our study suggests that asymptomatic cases are unlikely to contribute to the spread of SARS-CoV. COVID-19 cases should be detected and managed early to quarantine closure. Okay?
Wow. Different CDC study found that asymptomatic carriers were unlikely to substantially contribute to the spread of COVID. This just happened, I believe, today or yesterday. Yikes. California. Wow. The scientists don't even listen, bro. Don't have to think about it, dude. It's so fucking stupid, bro. Look, they just reduced their death rate by 25% in California because they said, "That's a lot. Whoopsie, we had it wrong." And something that you need to...
Wait, what?
California because they said...
In the base, 59% of all transmission came from asymptomatic transmission, compromising 35%.
A lot. Whoopsie, we had it wrong. And something that you need to understand, I'm not saying that in all of these, now in these instances, I was right. Because I said, I think it can transmit to humans. And for example, we said, I think you can't trust the World Health Organization because they work with China. They're very close, and it seems like there might be a lab leak. We were correct. But science isn't governed. It's not determined by consensus. It's determined by what's true. And that's why you have different scientific voices. You trust only the CDC and Fauci. We aggregate Fauci, CDC, World Health Organization, other doctors, and qualified immunologists, epidemiologists. And yes, that's a difference in a worldview that I have. So Fauci's email is right here that in case you didn't know, I don't think that he remembers. What do you have? He said he had emails saying masks weren't effective.
February 5th, 2020. Masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring infection. The typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, which is small enough to pass through material. This was around the time like they were low on masks, so I mean, the paper you sent me says experiments were performed before the gain of function pause, but have since been reviewed by and approved by NIH. Not sure what that means. Assembly is sure that no coronavirus work has gone through the P3 framework. If you, I don't know what that means. She will try to determine if we have any distant ties to work abroad.
Effective. The mask sold at drugstores. He also denied gain-of-function research, even though we know that from the emails that he actually did know about it. And of course, the funding to the Wuhan lab. There are a lot of things that happened that they were just misleading about. So I don't know why you would simply trust a government entity and be so smug about people who think critically. And by the way, we'll also get to the point that we provide references and sources.
So you lie about shit, dude.
So that everyone else can educate themselves, which you've never done. You just go, so fucking stupid, bro. I'm gonna call a YouTube executives to get them banned, because it's like borderline, dude.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, is get you thrown off.
Yeah.
No, he's not. What are you talking about?
Absolutely. That's always nice when content creators side with corporations to get people removed. Good. Hope that works.
By the way, you don't have to believe in some kind of conspiracy theory out there either. All you have to do is check WHO's Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Okay? You can just look where they're like...
It's still up.
Gerald, you're thinking, bro.
We'll get to in a second, by the way, the blatant lie. Look, I'm going to assume that you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you said, that you're just really lazy or incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
That's a no.
Never,
that's
ever. Now, you're either lying or you're so lazy. Because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us removed. You're so lazy, you didn't even just verify the fact that it was completely fabricated. All right, so now let's go to them doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on group, which, by the way, and I want to say this too, because from what I understand, Ethan's wife is Israeli, and we've talked about the Israeli conflict, defended them, of course, their right to exist. And I know that you probably suffer some anti-Semitic comments here on YouTube. I've seen them. We've received them just for supporting Israel, and it's horrible. It's abhorrent. But you also understand that as an Israeli, as Jewish government agencies sold some people some bullshit. And thank God, part of the influence for the Holocaust was using health guidelines, was telling people that this was for their own public health safety.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that the Nazis were wrong.
Yes.
Why is he talking about the fucking...
Everyone has the right to criticize, and as a matter of fact, everyone
Tomato.
Yes. Yeah, tomato gobbles.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Everyone has a required...
This all started from the whole stupid Joe Rogan thing. He went to the thing mid-pandemic. Joe said that people were vaccinated at the time, even though it was fucking, what, like spring of 2020?
An obligation to do their own research. You believe they shouldn't. You discourage it actively. We encourage it actively, regardless of where we line up on our points of view. That's the idea that I'm criticizing, that Ethan, of course, doubled down on here. And it's just, I'm sorry for people watching here who don't want to have to deal with this, but this is the kind of stuff that your kids, a few of them, may be watching.
Let's watch.
You gotta wear a mask, so I'm out there wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Wow, big deal. And then now they say, if you're outside, you don't need to wear a mask. It's pretty simple. You want to talk about who's dumb?
Yeah, I mean, the CDC is like this whole governmental body with scientists and shit that just tell us what to do. You don't have to think about it, dude. Obviously, my point is that if you're so fucking stupid, then yeah, you should listen to the CDC, bro. It's there.
Maybe you should.
Like, I don't understand this assumption that
Ethan's problem is he's acting like Crowder's coming about this in good faith. He's not. His whole thing is to basically question everything and discredit government officials.
don't trust these whole institutions that we've propped up, funded, regulated.
Dude, the rest of this episode is them just reacting to it. I really want to watch that. Fuck it.
Well, you don't even the whole
blindly trust the government.
Follow it, even.
Doesn't the Israeli Jew next to him have some thoughts about that? They had to create this whole land because they didn't trust any governments that existed? And I support?
Wasn't America kind of based on that whole thing?
To say to wear a mask, bro.
A little bit.
Okay.
During a pandemic and with an airborne virus.
Okay. So look, let me
Airborne.
Airborne again. He's not talking about droplets. Look. Okay. Let's assume that I'm as dumb as you. As dumb as you sound. Okay?
Well, yeah.
You could be,
Hey, who knows?
listen.
Never know.
Spectrum could be really intelligent. As dumb as you sound right now.
Face blanks. Or face banks. Ethan, I'm infinitely more smarter than you.
Let's assume we're both dumb. Okay. This comes down to a worldview. Let's assume that we're both not doctors. You say we should trust up these
Yeah, dude, what? You're both not doctors. What are you talking about?
institutions who we've propped up. By the way, we haven't necessarily propped them up. Is Fauci, was he voted in? That's one of the arguments, but I know you haven't gone that far out from the trunk into the branches. One of the arguments is you have one of the highest paid officials in government, some of the most highly paid officials in government, never held private office, and there's never been an election. So to act as though we should blindly trust these organizations, your worldview is we're so dumb we should trust the World Health Organization, who said no human-to-human transmission, who said no way there's a lab leak, and then YouTube banned people who suggested it. You're saying we should blindly trust the CDC because everyone is too dumb out there. You believe that your audience is so dumb they couldn't possibly do their own research, and you actively discourage it. So let's assume neither one of us are doctors. We're both dumb. The difference is we actually provide sources and references every single day. Bring those up right there. CDC. And by the way, every single one of those, every single show, you can go to louderwithcrowder.com, go to the actual post of the video, and we provide all of these references below. Right? We have all of these links below where you can see, and
Dude, his cosplay is so lame.
we put them in the description. Why? Because I don't believe that people should trust me blindly, nor the World Health Organization, nor the CDC,
nor anyone.
My worldview is you should, of course, aggregate the word and the advice, the wise counsel of scientists, of by the way, not just Fauci, I include doctors who've seen a patient.
Well, that's like 40 years. Who knows?
And then verify it with your own research. Also, it's not pro-science to trust one person when about half of the scientific community, for example, was saying, hey, this thing may have leaked in a lab. Scientists from China who disappeared, right? You wouldn't know that, but maybe you could go check out our sources on our website and maybe you'll understand this a little bit. Those scientists were saying one thing, but the organization who you go into bat for, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, banned that information from getting out. So it's just two different worldviews.
Okay. Regarding like the lab leak thing, I gotta look into it more, but I just don't take everything with a grain of salt. Everything is weird.
You believe that your audience is so dumb they couldn't be trusted with the ability to research freely? That's the pro-censorship mindset that permeates the world right now? I believe in discussions with people regardless of what they believe, and that we provide, a minimum 30, sometimes 120 references per day.
Yeah.
Almost all.
Talk to Sam Cedar, bro. Talk to Sam Cedar.
All neutral, like PubMed, scientific journals, or left, like New York Times. You're not going to find a whole lot of conservative sources in there. Do you do it?
Well, you're thinking about it, bro.
Thinking
like
about
if
it,
I have a headache, I just go to the medicine cabinet, take whatevs, and hope it goes away.
Pills, bro.
Just take some stuff, see what happens.
And then he didn't really have a whole. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I feel like to rebut him, we could have just played him when he said, listen, you don't have to think about it. And he's like, no, what I meant is that if you're too stupid, you just need to trust them. You're not,
dude.
No, you just claimed that
you're so fucking
didn't
stupid,
have to
bro.
think about it.
Like, I don't even know who this guy is here over there. He hasn't even done like videos that used to get millions of plays and now podcasts that get a few thousand, bro.
Or so. You know?
I don't even know why you think you should use that Porsche.
Wait, what?
Podcasts that get a few thousand, bro.
Or so, you know?
I don't even know why you think you should use that portion of your brain.
When you
like,
go
you use 10%. I use I use 2%. Why would I use 10% of my brain?
It's like just tell us what to do.
My brain's like milk, but I don't even read the.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Yeah. I'm glad this is going to be good long term for a relationship.
Might as well tell him
Oh my god. Yeah, Ethan really fucked up in that video. Not much I really can say to this because I'm an idiot.
Sad. He sort of mocked me, and ran out of steam and got to, I guess what is considered in the YouTube world a roast.
Ooh. There's so much to say because I haven't really talked about him, but the dude has such small energy that he's wearing a holster. He wears a fucking gun holster, bro.
Oh my god!
Like he's so.
Me and 35% of Americans.
He needs a gun holster to.
Dude, but you're wearing it during a show. Like, why?
Feel like masculine.
Wait, he's wearing it as like an accessory?
Yeah. Yeah, always. Yes. He wears a gun holster, bro. And he's got tissues next to him in case, you know.
He starts crying.
Finish the joke, buddy, in case, you know, there's a premise.
He starts crying.
Get a
his
punchline.
Mascara starts running.
Oh.
Dude, what about your jokes? You fucking suck.
Gendered. Watch this.
He's such beta energy with the fucking cigar, the holster.
All these dudes, the cigar thing is just the overcompensation. It's real.
Is this guy trying to dress like Marty McFly, or is that actually an outfit he wears?
Oh, there's laziness again. It was a Back to the Future themed episode.
So sick. It's so f***ing manly to just have a big brown turd in your mouth all the time.
Dude, and a holster? Man.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first
He's so butthurt.
of all, you have...
Hold on a second.
Get out of here.
That's due to allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines, an immutable condition. It's genetic. But I guess
Oh my god, dude, stop.
there's a ceasefire here so we can talk about any genetic conditions like the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head trying to compensate with a beard that he uses just for men, or the eyebrow phrase like E.T. in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro. The point is,
Very active.
immutable characteristics, let's be careful.
Dude, you're the biggest fucking spaz on the internet. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Now, we have to be careful because I don't know, because they can say, you're so stupid, bro. I can't believe you're thinking for yourself. Look at him. He's got a small dick. But he's the kind of guy who then goes to YouTube and supports people being banned. Ethan, it's got to suck to look yourself in the mirror and know that you've entirely changed who you are and your content to appease the powers that be. Look, maybe you didn't. Maybe
What happened that you didn't know him?
had a change of heart where all of a sudden you don't care about free speech and expression and you're pro YouTube and you're pro deplatforming and you're pro demonetization. But let's be honest that one of us here has changed our point of view. And yes, I do carry a holster like many Americans, tens of millions of Americans. Why? To promote, to normalize responsible firearm ownership, you know, like liberals with abortions, or you to, you know, promote normalizing the discouraging of seeking one's own information and resources. I'm passionate about educating people on firearm use. You're passionate about people not educating themselves on anything. Different strokes.
Or shape.
Dude, he's so salty. He's booty tickled, bro.
And if he had just looked into you a little bit, he'd be like, oh yeah. Steven doesn't need a gun in just about any street fight he would ever get into. He takes boxing
Dude, stop sucking his... Oh my god, whatever.
Doing too much
and
research.
jujitsu.
No, that would be compensating, just like cigars. It's not like an entire industry of people have enjoyed cigars passed down for generations because it's an artisan product.
Yeah.
That is delicious. No, it must be because I have an Ethan Klein penis.
Right, absolutely.
But something about being conservative grifter, this is another, you know, again, this is what you see from the left. Don't educate yourself and then ascribe motive.
Right, yeah.
Here we go.
I was telling Dan, I'm like, I wish that I would just be a conservative. It'd be like so much easy money.
It's the easiest grift in
like
the game.
Every take is so obvious. It's like everyone has the same opinion.
Oh, I thought it was a bandana. It's a wet bandit spirit. It's a wet bandit's cap. Look, okay. First off, grift. I've been here since 2006. Been doing political videos since 2007, I believe, maybe 2008 on YouTube. Look, there was no money in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless, can we at least agree that regardless of where you and I line up, one
There's money in it now. What do you...
of us was going upstream here, and it wasn't the guy doing Vape Nation, bro, okay? It was wildly unpopular, and unlike yourself, I've never changed who I am. This is why our program is growing and yours isn't, because people...
What are you talking about? He's getting millions of views.
People were introduced to your show through a kind of content. And I say this to everyone out there because this happens a lot on YouTube, right? Yeah. You start with content, you have a few viral videos, and then...
Okay, let's do this real quick. He's trying to say like, oh, he's irrelevant now, or his views are down. Bro. Like, the main channel is pretty much dead. He doesn't post anything on there anymore. These are still like decent views. Look, 2.8, 4.7. The morons of coronavirus. Yeah, dude, he was still in the millions. H3 podcast. He even threw like a jab in there, like, oh, my podcasts are like getting thousands of views, bro. Look, somewhere like these are still high numbers. 960K. He's in the millions. Like, his views shot up around the David Dobrik controversy and the James Charles thing. But even still, he was holding consistent views. 4.7, 1.8. Well, actually, that's David Dobrik. Like, okay, I stopped watching Ethan throughout all of last year. Ever since, like, the Gokunara video kind of... I was like, okay, Ethan's... I don't know, I just didn't... The H3 podcast was always boring up until, like, recently. He had like a few good episodes, but he just needed to like find his footing. He was still new to the podcast game. I think now with like AB and Dan, all the other people in the podcast, they help make it what it is now. It's way better. So like, he's not irrelevant. Like, dude, he's pulling more views than you. What are you talking about?
And you say, well, we can't do this again. Hey, I know. Which way to win? Podcast. I can host. It's like the Chocolate Rain kid, you know, then all of a sudden doing social justice issue podcast. One out there because this happens a lot on YouTube, right? Yeah. You start with content, you have a few viral videos, and then you say, well, we can't do this again. Hey, I know. Which way to win? Podcast. I can host. It's like the Chocolate Rain kid, you know, then all of a sudden doing social justice issue podcast about, you know, like lesbian funk or whatever the hell it is. That's the point.
That's not even what his podcast is about. What are you talking about?
Rainbow, right? For affirmative action.
We're just sitting there like, no, it doesn't work. And I will say this: I have been an advocate of new media for a very long time. Right? Was at Fox for years, and obviously we done stand up. Dave still does stand up. Came up doing that. New media. I know it's not new media. That term is sort of a misnomer, but we've lived with it our whole life. But I use that term to frame it: new media versus legacy media. You know, the CNN, ABCs, NBC, CBS, and I always thought they were wrong. I thought the good part about new media before the sort of censorship wave was, hey, no gatekeepers, right? People can go out there and create content and find their audience. Now, the downside to that is there's a billion podcasts. And so when I would have these conversations with legacy media, they would say, yeah, the problem there is that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can sit down and talk into a microphone, and they don't understand that we had an audition process with radio shows and television shows where you had to be interesting or some marketable, discernible skill set that would be valued as some kind of an entertainment commodity. And when they were saying that, look, this is why the new media is never going to go anywhere, they would show a show like yours. And so, in providing resources and sketches and guests, and you know, we'll have a politician, we'll have Rudy Giuliani on. I know you don't like him, but he was mayor of New York, right? And Times Man of the Year. And then we'll have a multiple-time, peer-reviewed, published medical, scientist. We'll have an oncologist. We'll have an epidemiologist, is the word that you were looking for.
Dude, they have different niches. What are you talking about? You're a political fucking radio show, basically. He's like a pop culture podcast.
Because we want to elevate the platform. You're incapable of it. The reason that legacy media disrespected new media, and for a long time it took, is because of content like yours. And I think that's why now...
Wait, he just said he wanted to elevate the platform? Dude, you want to, like, shut down the platform? You said you're suing YouTube. What are you doing? You've caused how many fucking... Oh, what's the word for it? Adpocalypses? He's got those like 2. Come on, dude.
Multiple-time, peer-reviewed, published medical, scientist. We'll have an oncologist. We'll have an epidemiologist, is the word that you were looking for. Because we want to elevate the platform. you're incapable of it. The reason that legacy media disrespected new media, and for a long time it took, is because of content like yours. And I think that's why now you've become their toady. That's why you have to ingratiate yourself to Susan Wojcicki and CNN and Vox and advocate for the removal and deplatforming of people, because what else you got? Look, I don't dislike you. I criticize an idea, okay? You only do YouTube pissing contests with people. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm interested in doing. I just think that it's a bad thing.
There's a guy who called out like Chris Como to fight him. So what are you talking about, dude?
To tell kids that it's stupid to think about issues or do your own research. Yeah. I disagree with that idea.
And saying that it's easy money, like it's a grift that's easy. Do you understand what demonetization is?
Yeah. Do you understand what Dave Rubin is doing? What the fuck?
You advocate.
Exactly. Do you understand?
You support.
They don't pay us, even though sponsors are ready, willing, and able to put ads on our channel. They won't let us have it for even the most benign of
hours of reading.
Are they though? Like, I'm pretty sure some of the stuff you guys have done recently, advertisers are running away.
Research so easy. It's the easiest grift ever.
He doesn't do what we do, bro, which is put on beanies.
Just
and
sit here, bro.
Tell the story with our eyebrows.
Tim Allen lost a show. Anybody who's even remotely right-wing in the Hollywood industry has lost everything.
Of course.
Get that argument out of
What
here.
an easy grift.
Look, yes, what an easy grift. And yeah,
There's all those right-wing specials you see on Netflix.
Yeah,
right.
all those.
And even though you're Mr. Potty Mouth, how many strikes just for actually taking a stand? Let's just think about that. Not hate speech. We've never been accused of hate speech, violating. It's just taking a stand. Ever willing to take unpopular opinions? Ever willing to swim upstream? No. Instead, and this is where we really differ, and this is where I do think it's actually shameful, because once upon a time, Ethan Klein would have people, for people out there who knows, this is a big show on YouTube.
So he does know him. Dude, you were saying in the beginning, like, Ethan Klein? I think that's his name. Come on, dude. You fucking know him.
Other people watching, if they're still watching. I know most of them don't care about this, but they have a lot of young people who tune in.
You got 1 million views, bro. Come on. The reason he's doing this is because he's know Ethan is big, and he's trying to get that response from him.
You would have Jordan Peterson on, and really, you remember Quarterback. You used to watch him.
Yeah, back in the day, he was really funny.
He was one of the few guys who was sort of anti-SJW censorship.
Yeah.
And then flipped. Wow.
Yeah, his content's completely different. He kind of dropped off.
A totally different person. I don't care if you don't like the content. Totally different person in that now you advocate. Now, I've never, ever, I want to be clear, I don't think your channel should be demonetized or taken down, even though I think it's really, really bad to tell kids not to do research. I think that's bad. I think it's almost anti-educational. Hopefully I pronounced that about as correctly as you did, epidemiologist. I
Even
think
if
I'm
what
about
you
right.
put out is so boring, it's anti-content.
Yes, it's anti-content. It's where comedy goes to die.
No, that's your show.
And Bill Burr's respect. So I think this is something that is...
I haven't laughed once at any of this.
No.
The only joke I've ever laughed with Steven Crowder was when he had like a Trump impression. But in the words of the great... What was his name? Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Oh my God. Trevor Wallace. In the words of Trevor Wallace, every white guy has a fucking Trump. Every white guy has a Trump impersonation.
No. Some people are really, I feel like you're either really good at impressions or you're trash. I think every white guy in America has a Trump impression, but it's probably not good, you know.
Trump impressions are like so boring.
Everybody has one. Yeah. I want to.
His respect for, listen, you know, I unlike our friend there who's like, is he just like Marty McFly? I've done research on this program. It was very painful.
It is the funniest video.
I felt like in Scarface where someone was going, you're going to watch your friend die. No! I got to get 2 more hours of this.
It's really a Clockwork Orange moment.
I can do this all night. I can do this all night, bro. Can't you just develop some form of narcolepsy and call it a day? So this is the big difference here. I would never advocate that you be removed, even though you're espousing bad ideas. I would never advocate.
I just realized my light's not on. Is it not gonna look good? Hold on. There we go.
That other people out there who espouse what I believe are bad ideas and provide no substantiation and frankly bully for a living. This is what he does. Goes after often.
Dude, this is what you do. What are you talking about? You went after the Carlos Meza.
With it.
You also went after that one dude, or I don't know what their gender was, but he went after that one person who worked at that like smoothie place, and he like went behind the counter and was harassing them, dude. God, I fucking hate Crowder, dude.
Consistently supports active deplatforming, demonetizing, and removing points of view, which I don't know how you come up as an independent content creator and then do this.
The quartering is without a doubt a social justice warrior, except the causes he fights for are just different. I sentenced him to be banned from Twitter and demonetized 20 billion times. It's the 15 videos, it's the
I didn't see that. I'm pretty sure it was just joking though. I don't know.
misleading thumbnails, it's the joking about killing her, it's encouraging the audience to go raid her Discord and try to get banned and giving a cash prize. I mean, dude, there's this whole thing of like, they came for Leafy and you laughed, and next they came for you and nobody was there. It's like, dude, no. The guy's
don't say it's like, dude. Explain, dude, what it is like.
YouTube apparently for demonetizing him.
I think he was locked out of uploading for a time, but yeah, I think at the moment he can. It's just that if he gets another strike, he'll be completely banned from the platform, and so he's out of an abundance of caution not uploading.
Got it. That's a good idea. I mean, I've seen his content.
Right.
I mean, the one.
So he obviously watched this whole clip. How come he's not reacting to the Sam Cedar thing? Come on, bro. I thought you wanted to have a conversation.
About me was bordering on COVID misinformation.
Wow.
Like he was flirting with it.
How?
There's certain things that Joe's been saying that's like dangerous, like the COVID shit. Like, don't get. He's telling his audience, don't get the shot. He's saying masks are for pussies. He literally just like the other day.
Fauci have to correct what Mr. Rogan said on his podcast.
Yeah. He said young, healthy people do need to get the vaccine.
Now, look. This is important here. I don't know everyone who he's talked to. It was a long list. We had to shorten down the montage of people he's attempted to get banned or removed. And maybe some...
Not even... What are you talking about?
People were actively breaking the law, actively calling them... I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that doesn't matter. Sort of like when people say, abortion, what about for incest or rape? And you go, oh, okay, all right. If we allow abortion for incest or rape, can we then get rid of all late-term abortions? Well, no, well, then don't bring it up.
Right.
Don't bring up that this person was actually breaking the law with speech, because you think that it was medical misinformation to laugh at you for saying, don't even think about it, bro. Come on, man. Do you not see the dangerous march toward fascism? Not march, you're there. You've reached King Koopa of fascism. You're jumping over and hitting the key. I can't believe this. This is what's so scary is when you have people who have the ear of executives at YouTube who get these branding deals.
He doesn't have the ear of her. Oh my God. I just realized he's playing into that stupid meme where Ethan fucking tells Susan Wojcicki what to do. Oh.
And they say, well, it's almost medical misinformation. It's almost medical misinformation, bro, to say that you should think about it.
Thinking about it would be something that he should definitely look into. Maybe for some of the
Your thoughts,
shows
Dave?
that he has.
Oh, I think he's super. I think it's a good show.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous because in that clip we just played a second ago, he didn't quite get to this point. He's like, yeah, I haven't heard of anybody. I think the second guy, I don't know who he is. He's got this monitor over here. Somebody else is on there.
Somebody's on the phone.
Yeah, it's like the producers.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever that is.
It's Satan.
Bro, it's what you do. What are you talking about?
It could be on speed dial. Basically just said, you don't get deplatformed unless you're like ISIS. And I'm like, do you understand when words come out of your mouth, do you think about them first or do they just...
Yeah, do you realize Hamas is still on Twitter and Donald Trump isn't? Do you realize the Ayatollah is still on Twitter and Donald Trump isn't?
Do you realize there are still beheading videos and we were removed from YouTube?
Yeah.
There's penis...
You're still on YouTube.
Or dildo videos that are still not censored for age.
He goes, yeah, listen, it's good to deplatform people if it's like ISIS. But you just said I borderlined on ISIS by suggesting people think.
Or read a label.
Read a label.
Or quote the CDC depending on the date.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane. I mean, it really is.
No, it's really scary. It's really scary, not only because it's so unbelievably talentless and unentertaining, but it's scary because you
Why are you describing yourself, dude?
have kids going, okay, I won't read. I mean,
and making fun of the saying that
I hope that everyone watching this is wearing those half hard-boiled egg short helmets.
Well, no, and I I'm not saying it's the 3 most talentless people in LA. I would never say
No.
There's a lot of not talent.
But look, the whole saying like that there was nobody left to help you was built out of an era where there was nobody left to help anyone, and it was trying to make sure we didn't get there again. And you're a guy advocating for censorship, saying, "Don't worry about the saying that's supposed to be helpful."
Yeah. Well, dude, they're not going to come after him because he's in with the elites.
He thinks.
Well, listen.
Well, he was roped in for it because he's.
Then had a lawyer. Then had a lawyer on to say that this is the issue.
Wait, he had a lawyer on his show.
What?
Yeah, to talk about YouTube.
They talk about how, and they got it again. They got it all wrong. So they didn't even get it right as far as what Half Asian Bill has filed. And this is the problem. Okay, this is how rumors get started.
I'm video lawyer.
I have a problem with your ideas. I want to be clear about. I have a problem with the
I'll believe Emily Baker over this guy any day.
kinds of concepts that you were actually espousing and preaching to young kids, okay? I really do. But I also want to be clear here. There's a problem with either you are so lazy that you are incapable of doing basic research, or you are a compulsive liar. Here we go.
I have an email, by the way, from his
Producers and
one of his producers trying to get me to come on the show.
That is either a lie, or again, you are so lazy, I'm just going to say it, so mind-numbingly stupid that you don't understand, or you couldn't be bothered to do your own basic research, that this comes from a click farm that people use all the time to try and attach themselves to famous people. I don't know who that is. No one reached out to you. I've never worked with that person. That's how rumors get started. This is what happens. Our Buzz Booker reached out. Another thing he says, Stephen ducked out of Politicon. Hey, Joe, let me ask you. Political conferences or festivals. What's my policy?
You hate them. It's like the plague.
You can go back. I hosted CPAC for 4 years. And then never again. I think it's been 7 years. I did one with Yaf as a favor to a friend. Look, this is how things get started. He ducked from Politicon.
Yeah.
It's like if someone says you want to do Politicon, and like, my Dasma Booker said, no, it's like, I can call out Mike Tyson. It doesn't mean he ducked me. Yeah. And they go, oh, look, he's so desperate to have me on because this letter from Mrs. Claus was saying that we want to. It's just not true. It doesn't exist.
Well, and by the way, even if it didn't happen, but if you had reached out to him, it'd basically be destroying his entire point. I want you to come on the show and say your point of view as much as you're terrible at it, right?
Here's the
No, because he was doing the SJW content back then. So he was a perfect fit for the show, if anything.
Here's the thing, and I want to be really clear about this. Do you have something you're about to say there, Dave?
Oh, no, I'm just enjoying the show.
Did you didn't disguise yourself as a lady and send out a mass email with his name clearly inserted in bold?
I mean, I may have gone on Rocket Mail and been like, hey.
It's like the Simpsons Krusty Camp where it's, I hope you kids are welcome, Counselor Black, to Camp Krusty. He's like, we would love to book Ethan Klein. I misspelled my name. Your book is so stupid, bro. Couldn't even spell Klein. Okay.
And bolded it.
Yeah.
Bolded the name.
I didn't even know his name till just now.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I guess is another thing he felt about me. He's like, I don't know who that is, which is the most meaningless insult you can possibly get these days.
Yeah.
But it's like, look at your show. Look at what you've done.
Well, that's what it is.
Multi-million views? What?
But there are objective sort of guardrails. We've talked about this where you have, objectively, right, my left, your right, you have like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, those kinds of people. And then you have objectively people who are unfunny, where
you are?
Nobody likes them. The kinds of people who do open mics for years at a time and no one goes sees. Ethan, right? People like that. And then in the middle, maybe you have your people like your Jerry Seinfelds, your Richard Jennings, your Dave Landau's, or maybe it's not for you. You aren't for anyone. We've just watched you. Just premise.
The podcast.
Why does he have a tissue? Why does he have a tissue, bro? It's like, is it for? Yes. Is it for some type of compensation, masturbatory fantasy for Donald Trump? Is it for some kind of catching? We didn't know that AIDS was aerosol. I mean, I could write you 15 punchlines. I'm not saying they'll be gold, but at least we're swinging the bat, and I don't know that you could also physically swing a bat.
Not accurately.
So, objectively, I just, in wanting to elevate new media and new content, which is why we have guests and sources and videos and sketches.
Research.
It's more, the only thing offensive, I know I've offended you, the only thing offensive about you is the lack of any discernible talent or skill set whatsoever, but I know that nothing I could say here could sting nearly as much as you knowing the dwindling audience who no longer respects you because of a 180 on your worldview. I'm sure the shame that you feel is punishment enough, but
I think he's fine, bro.
I am benevolent. So, look, I will say this time I'll have my actual booker, my dad, write a joke about he can do it.
Daddy.
His dad, bro. Yep, my dad works for me, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
your wife is on a show. My dad actually worked in relations, worked in customer relations and booking before. I don't know that your wife has a resume of hosting. If she does,
whatever.
Good.
Well, your dad's
probably
also proud of you and still wants to speak with you.
This is true.
I'm not saying that might be different for other people. I'm just.
I have no idea. That's entirely conjecture. But if I had to bet, bro, I wouldn't even have to think about it. So, look, I will say this. I will never, ever, after this, address you again because I do feel like you're trying to bait people out there, trying to bait us into getting into a back and forth YouTube pissing contest where we never actually meet in person and never actually have a conversation. And I just usually, so I'm going to assume that you're not lying because I never give debates or interviews to people who lie. Right. Like, hey, he said he was going to meet me at the town square. No, I didn't. I'm not going to give an interview. I'm not going to be baited that way. I think you got an email and you're dumb. I don't think you lied. I think that you actually believed that a booker reached out to you, but it's incorrect.
A celebrity booker.
Right, a celebrity booker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just so you know, I'm a celebrity in the email. People know who I am.
He was
unlike
fooled,
Dave Landau.
He was fooled by the email equivalent of a talk boy. This is Peter McAllister calling.
Honestly, I really don't know. Maybe Ethan was fooled. Maybe Steven's lying. I don't think Steven's lying. But he knew who he was. And he was in like that niche of like anti-SJW stuff. So I feel drained. I can't watch Crowder without like feeling tired after.
The father.
Yeah. Did it end with "See you later, you filthy animal"?
Yes. Did he sing "Cool Cat"? So I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show. And by the way, I will always be respectful. I will never interrupt. There's a difference between what we do here. It will just be me, you and I, and we can discuss the difference in our worldview, that you don't believe in providing references, sources, and you think it's stupid to think critically of any sort of governmenting body. I disagree with you, and I think it's a bad message to teach kids. You think it's really bad that I responsibly carry a firearm. Let's talk about the issues. You come on my show. I would never invite myself onto your show. But either way, whatever you're comfortable with, an even playing field, no editing, you and I can talk about it. It is appointed to a man once to be invited on this show. Gerald knows this policy as well. He'll get this invitation once. It's not like you can come back later 2 years down the line and say, oh, I'll take that. No. Just like someone said, hey, I'll sell you this car for $20,000. You don't get to come here 2 years from now and say, I'll take that car. The offer is once. We'll reach out. You can come onto this show. Or I'll go on your show if you want me to discuss the issues. I guarantee you that I will keep it respectful, as I always have with anyone we've debated, whether it's a Pulitzer Prize winner or a scientist or a mayor, doesn't matter who it is. I'll make sure that we have a civil discussion. And if you decline, and everyone now knows that you will, you can keep talking about me if you want, but I will never address you again because I have no interest in going back and forth with the kind of hackery that takes place there. So, all right, that's really all I have to say about that. And I hope, I hope he takes me up on it.
He's going to have to think about it.
It'll be interesting.
I just like to meet him. He seems like a good guy.
It's the kind of guy you could have a beer with, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Just really enjoy the conversation.
A vape with, bro.
I don't drink beer because I got a headache, bro.
Oh.
And then I just take whatever.
Yeah. So the doctor says take this, and I wake up and I'm really fucking sore, bro. He's a doctor.
I watched the video for this, by the way, and I was shocked that 1 million people have been duped into subscribing to this.
Well, I will say this: like
He had content that was good
before, yeah.
in
That's what
the
I'm saying.
past.
Like,
he's got a lot of those that like kind of come over.
Hey, by the way, let me just say this too, people. Hey, the best thing you can smash that like button.
Yes.
People.
Jared, you're the side bitch of a fucking asshole. What are you talking about, dude? What has Jared done? Yeah, I don't think Ethan's gonna go on that show. Wait, okay, so the Frenemies thing happened yesterday. When that Crowder video come out? One came out yesterday too. It's probably might get buried. Dude, Crowder's so lame. Ultimately, this is my fault for ordering pizza while dressed as Uncle Fester. I don't know. It really... Time will tell. Oh, did my video freeze? No. Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. Frenemies is probably over. That's the thing. I don't know, because Trisha's pretty problematic. But she has been, like, on the upswing. I don't know, dude. In hindsight, I guess it was always going to end like this with them fighting. Or something to do with money. So, I don't follow her. I probably should. Like, it's just weird timing because she launched her own skincare and now she's saying she doesn't want to do Frenemies anymore. And she's blaming it on money, but yet she has her own side business. It's just weird. Like, I'm sure she could probably get like a bigger cut from Frenemies, but at the same time, she's always talking about how much money she makes. I don't know. I don't care. It's two millionaires fighting. I barely have 1,000 in my bank account, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Ethan does and how he reacts. I don't know if he's gonna react to the Crowder thing. If he does, I doubt he's gonna go on the show. Honestly, I think the Crowder thing will just get buried underneath all this. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.